Good morning. Good morning. Oh, look who made it. Look who. Well, we're not sure if she's here or not, but the gang's all here. Good morning, everybody. This is the Elevation Academy. You got myself. Oh, Shanice is with us. I'm excited. But we have our special guests, both of our special Brian and Tamaya. If you guys have caught our last 2 or 3, I believe. Tamaya was on one and Brian was on one. So these are our admins. They are a part of our team. They will be here with us, on occasion, so you guys can get used to their faces. In the event that me and Shanice get sick, you never know. You might catch a Tamaya and Brian show one day. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited to have you guys. Thank you both for joining us. Shanice, I don't know how you became Superwoman and made it back in time, but you're here. As always, we gotta open up with my apology to Instagram. You guys know, I don't know why, still don't know why. It's getting to the point where I'm just probably apologizing to y'all forever. But YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, wherever everybody we're streaming. Facebook, good morning, welcome to the team. Instagram, we will not be able to see your comments, so I apologize for that. But today, I was gonna freestyle. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but we ended up having a nice discussion 15 minutes ago, and Brian is open to talking to us about real estate development. So we're gonna treat Brian as if he's our special guest, even though he's a member. We're gonna be questioning Brian and talking about real estate development. So, TikTok. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them on the phone. I'm live right here. Feel free to ask them on the phone, and I'll pause and I'll ask Brian for you, so that way you guys can have the answers. Anybody else? Majority of our comments will come to our chat section. So if you guys have comments, I will pop them up on the screen, such as this. They'll look like that, and then we'll answer you guys' questions live. So appreciate you all for joining us. And without further ado, Brian, what's going on, my guy?
What's good? What's good, man? Happy to be here. How y'all doing?
Chilling.
Is the connection like it's not breaking up? Oh my god!
Nah, we got right. We had to get that.
That's magical.
That top tier internet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Account. Yeah, I don't know what was going on last time, but yeah, we here.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, and Brian, you already know what I'm gonna do, is I started off and I, have a few standard questions that we created just to get it started before everybody else starts to pop in. So the first question is, what is real estate development? Because I've never, until you told me about it, I've never heard of it.
Right. No, I was actually the same way, man. So before I even get into like what it is, kind of how I got started and got exposed to it was, I really thought this was just construction. And, while I was in Florida, I moved around a lot just over the past 10 years, just, after school, and then moved to Florida for my first job, moved to LA, been in South Carolina now, back in the DMV area. But when I was in Florida, man, I wanted to get into real estate from just an investment perspective. And, I was going to go through the fix and flips, the wholesale, all that. But I kind of like let that fall by the wayside when I was in Florida. And once I got to LA, I was just thinking like, man, I still want to get into real estate. And I just kind of started doing my own due diligence, reading books, researching people. And I don't know if a lot of people know, but Don Peebles, he was actually on EYL. He's probably the most successful Black developer, that we know. And I kind of like started doing research on him, see like, all right, what do you do? How do I get into this game of real estate development? So started looking at a bunch of stuff that he did. Read a couple of his books, the People's Principle, and then basically went and said, okay, I got to go and actually go back to school. Now you can do this without having to go back to school, but the barrier to entry is a lot higher if you don't have a master's degree in this field. So I went to Clemson, got my master's, and ended up coming back to DC, which is home, and basically it was like, okay, real estate development is essentially you're taking a parcel of land. It could be commercial, it could be residential. Taking a parcel of land and basically building on top of that. So real estate is all encompassing. So land is included in the real estate, but the improvements, which is basically the building, everything that goes vertical, is what you profit off of. So basically, you buy some land. Obviously, you're gonna need capital for that, but you buy some land, and then you go and contract with an architect to design, what you want to put on top of the land, whether that's, multifamily development like apartments, or, maybe you want to do some single family homes. Maybe you want to build a neighborhood. You would go to the architect, have them design it for you, then go to a general contractor to basically tell you how much it's going to cost. And then you would go and, get the necessary permits to actually start building. So in a nutshell, that's what real estate development is.
I was muted. All right. Now, question. So, is real estate development, is it just commercial? Is it just residential, industrial? Like, is it specific to any?
So I mean, it spans a bunch of the different asset classes that you just mentioned. Industrial, you think of warehouses like Amazon warehouse, or
Right.
some type of like research facility. Another asset class is the when we say commercial, we really think about like office space. We think about apartment complexes. Residential is more so just single family homes and developments. And then I'm trying to make sure I named all of them: office, industrial.
That's it, right? It's just the three.
Yeah, that's it. Single family. Yeah. And then okay. There's also like entertainment as well. So you think about the stadiums, like these football stadiums. Like that's real estate too. That's commercial development. And the thing is, like with it, you have to raise money in order to have the capital to go and do the deal. And usually it's a capital stack between equity and debt. You leverage the debt. To go ahead and build the buildings. And then obviously your equity will either come from you being the developer, or you would have an equity company capital, and then they get paid on a return.
So like a new neighborhood development. I'm here in Florida. We got neighborhoods popping up everywhere, right? Would that be considered real estate development? Like whoever owns the I guess I don't even really know how to ask the question. Is it one company that is purchasing all the acres with the intent on building houses to sell?
Yep, exactly. And that would be considered residential development.
Okay.
So my bad, go ahead, bro.
Now I was just gonna say, some average people like ourselves, we can get into that. I can be a part of the people that are purchasing, because I feel like they're making the most money. Oh, absolutely. I don't know how much, but I feel like like if I'm buying the dirt, you know what I'm saying, and you're putting 50 houses in this neighborhood on the dirt that I own, even if I'm only making 1%, hell, the rent for some of these houses, I mean, in Florida, you probably looking at no less than $2,000 a month, and that's for one house.
Right.
So
and the thing about and the thing with residential is like it's the timeline is a lot smaller than commercial. Like houses you could put up probably like 3 to 4 months, and then like the way that residential development works is you get to a certain point on one house and then you start on your next house. With commercial, it usually like the timelines are between like 2 to 3 years, and this could be for one building. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was an electrician before. I listen, a year and a half out Tyson's Corner, working on the Wells Fargo building. So, sheesh.
Right. So yeah, we could. I mean, average people like us. I'm not saying we average because you know we the new legends, man. It's Black History Month. I know we celebrate you know our traditional people, but yeah, we the new legends. So average people like us can definitely get into the business. You know, again, you got to be able to find the land. So usually that comes through either a broker or it might be an off market deal. I like to look at PropStream to see, you know, what I mean, see what's available. And then, you know, once you got the land, you know, you secure that, then you just need to be able to, you know, have the capital to actually build the stuff and then kind of go through the permitting process. So you'd have to get familiar with, you know, whatever municipality you're building in, like whatever city that is, and then, you know, just go ahead and file your permits, have a GC. Anybody in real estate knows you got to be able to vet your GCs because they can get over on you. But, you know, find a good GC and yeah, you go from there, man. Once things start moving, then, you know, you start to see the profits. So.
I was going to talk hypothetical, but I'm going to talk real like it's me. So
okay,
let's say, because I know how to use PropStream. Let's say I find 10 acres and it, will I know that the 10 acres can be used for commercial use or residential? Like, that's the one thing I've never really navigated because I've only used PropStream for wholesaling. So will it tell me if this land is in a commercial area? Will it tell me that? Will I know that?
I don't think right off the bat, PropStream tells you whether it's zoned for commercial or residential, but you can find that out online. Usually, a lot of municipalities will have the actual zoning map, so it'll tell you whether this property is or this parcel is zoned for commercial development or residential development. And in many cases, you can get those things rezoned. You know, it's a process. Obviously, you know, you'll have to really go through the zoning board to get something rezoned, but it can happen. So I would say, like, right off the bat, PropStream probably won't tell you, but you should be able to find it pretty easily online.
Got you. Okay, and that's look, that was a personal for me. You never know, you might see a T development pop up soon. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%. You know, you
so
already know.
If I buy the land and I'm setting up the residential area, I can name the residential area.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So if y'all see the Christie's pop up, Christie Estates,
you got some ideas, huh? Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
I mean,
that's
what we want to do. We want to name developments after our families, and, you know, build that legacy. So I feel you.
It's gonna be gated. Can't nobody get in. I need to find something with a lake. Yeah, it's gonna have a big C on the front of it. Yes.
Okay.
So, like, seriously, like, and this is for me again. So, like, I want to do a whole walkthrough for me. Like, let's say I'm on PropStream. I find, and I know 10 acres isn't really that big. I'm probably looking at, if I'm thinking of doing a multi-residential neighborhood or whatever. Let's say I know for sure I want to buy at least 15 houses or enough land for 15 houses. I'm guessing I'm looking at least 15 acres because you would think, I guess, 1 acre per house. So how would I game plan? Like, and if you got to go deep, you know, you could just tell me you don't want to answer it, but would I have to game plan that whole thing? I'd have to be like, okay, I want 20 houses. So I know I need to find 20 acres. I have to make sure that land is for residential use. Cause like I said, here in Florida, we have what they call wetlands. So it's like, it's just swamps and marshes. Yeah. Where it's like, you literally can't build houses on that. So it sucks because they'll let you buy the land, but you can't do nothing with it. So me and Jazz found like 4 acres one time, but only like 1.3 was actually build onable. So I'm like, wait, you telling me I'm buying 4 acres, but 3 of those acres, I got gators and stuff that I can't move out, you know, like, you know, I'm not happy with that. So let's say I find 20 acres of land that I can use, right? How do I go about the whole thing? Like, that's my game plan. I want to build 20 houses. I want to do all these things. And I know the capital is going to be crazy. Mind you, I have a good credit score, but I feel like the capital on that is gonna be millions.
Yeah,
you know, how do I?
Okay, yeah. Well, just speaking on the capital real quick. I mean, in that sense, you know, I would, you know, obviously find somebody you can JV with. I think that you kind of split the profits, but at the same time, it's easier to get a deal done when you JV. But going to get the land, the due diligence process will tell you whether whether you can build on something or not. And that's when you mention wetlands. Yeah, we got wetlands up here too. We also have, you know, land that has been affected by you know, toxic materials, whether like there's been a gas station on top of it, dry cleaners, like this stuff gets into the soil and now it's unsuitable for development, right? So you want to do a due diligence process that is going to show you, okay, what type of you know, toxins have been on this land, right? And that usually you can go and get an environmental study done, and that can run you, I would say, anywhere between like 1,500 to, you know, upwards of 30,000, based on how big the land is, you know, based on how big that parcel is that you're looking at. But you would go and do the due diligence, make sure that this land is suitable for development, and then from there you're gonna want to talk to again, you're gonna look at the zoning, talk to the zoning board about, you know, what can be built here. Look at the building code, because basically you have this land, but you don't know, you know, how big you can build on this, and that's all contingent upon what they already have in place, like what the standards are. So again, you have to go to the municipality. So wherever you are in Florida, you know, I ain't gonna put that on blast. Wherever you are in Florida, you want to go to that municipality.
We just say Orlando. That's close enough. Orlando. That's all you
know. Right. So you go to the city of Orlando or the county that you stay in, and ask them, you know, for that building code, because that's going to tell you how much you can build on a certain parcel. Because sometimes you have, you know, a setback. You have to be a certain area away from like the building line or from the street to where you can start building. So that's obviously gonna affect how big of a house you can build.
Got you. Okay, and that makes sense. I think for me, I'm trying to think like, okay, like you said, you got a JV it. Who would I go to talk to know like how much I would need? I mean, I know the GC is going to be the one that does all the work, but let's, you know, I got my idea. Let's say us three, us four with Tamaya. Let's just say all of us have 800 credit scores. We know we could get access to $500,000 each, right? So together, it's between the four of us, we have $2 million in capital.
Right.
What would be the next step? One of us would go and who do we talk to say like, hey, listen, this is our idea. We want to buy these 20 acres to put houses on it, to build a development. Like, walk me through the actual steps of what we would do.
Okay, so I mean, if $2 million is enough to do the development, then from there, you know, we would go to the architect who's going to design all this, contract the architect to have them create the plans, and then from there you present the plans to the general contractor. The general contractor is basically going to price the hard costs, which is basically what it costs to actually build the houses, right? You know what I mean? And then from there, you would submit those plans to the design review board, again, for that municipality. And once they approve you, then you get the notice to proceed on, okay, now we can do this construction, right? Now, if we don't have enough money, then we have to go to a lender, real estate lender, to get a construction loan, or maybe it's a permanent loan that's going to carry us all the way through the development. And then after we sell those houses, then we go and obviously pay back the lender, you know, cover that debt service, and then the rest of it is profit.
Okay, now, like you said, because it's crazy to even say it, like $2 million might not be enough. You know, you hit $2 million and you're like, yeah, we should be good. But then when you think about it, 20 acres, 20 houses, like, so to my understanding of what you said, we have to cover the initial cost of building all of that. Oh Jesus.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, 2 million probably. That ain't even
Yeah.
scratching the iceberg.
It depends, but it depends on what you're building. But yeah, for the sake of 20 acres, it's definitely not going to be enough.
Okay, so maybe let's start smaller because I want to be realistic. Let's just say let's say 5 acres. We want to build a small development or maybe an apartment complex.
Right.
Maybe two 8-unit apartment buildings. That's it. We want to grab 3 acres. We know we're gonna have 2 8-unit apartment buildings, which can make money. That's 16 units to rent out. But let's say the 2 million does cover that. So now we have to pull our resources together. It sounds like you said, pay the architect, pay the GC, get all the licenses and things like that. Yep. Now we're the owners of the land and the buildings, correct?
Exactly. So you're the owner of the land and the buildings, and then once everything is complete, and honestly, I would kind of recommend that you kind of try to pre-lease. So as soon as you have, maybe you got 1 or 2 units done, that's when you need to start pre-leasing, because the longer you obviously hold on to the stuff, the more expensive it's going to be. We get into the real estate to sell the real estate. You know what I mean? Either sell the real estate or rent out the units. We want to create cash flow as soon as possible, because again, we got the debt service that we got to pay that money back to the lender, which there's interest on that money. So the longer you have that, the more interest you're gonna pay. But you want to go ahead and create that cash flow as soon as possible.
Okay. Now, as soon as you said that, it immediately turned the light bulb in my head. That's why the real estate developments, they want that $10,000 or $15,000 deposit before they even start building your house.
Right.
Because that's what they was telling us. It was, me and Jazz, we went house shopping or whatever, and they were like, yeah, anywhere it'll be 3.5% to even get started. And now it makes perfect sense. We're not investing more of our money into your stuff without some deposit. But now that I think about it, if you're doing a 3.5% deposit, that's probably covering them for a month or two of their monthly expenses to even, to pay those loans back. So that makes perfect sense. And that's super smart. Like you said, apartments though, it's kind of harder to like pre-lease apartment, or at least get money down until they're like actually ready. It's like if we say we're open on September 1st. Yeah, maybe like August we can start taking it, but it'll be hard. For houses, people are putting $20K down and their house will be built until next year. It's like that. Now that you say it, it makes perfect sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make any sense, because us as the consumers, why am I giving you $20,000 for a house next year? You know what I'm saying? Like, But as the real estate developer, it's like, all you doing is covering my cost to build the entire neighborhood, and we don't realize that. So it's like
without the capital, I mean, nothing is moving.
Look, I'm look, you getting me more interested. I was excited, when you first brought it to us, and I was like, okay, let's listen to it and see what it is. But I always, we're so, and I'm gonna be straight, we're small-minded when it comes to like the real estate world, because we just think buy a house, the equity goes up, sell a house. That's it. And it sounds like it's so much more and so much more money to be made if you buy the land, build the house, and sell the land. You can sell everything.
Exactly. And I mean, and it's also, I feel like you have more flexibility once you buy the land. Once you buy the house, that's just a house. You can obviously you can rent it out, and you can capitalize on like the appreciation. But you have the land, you can have multiple uses for that land. So yeah, I think again, like I said in the beginning, man, I thought this was just construction. I had no idea that people were joint venturing to raise money, to pay a GC, pay an architect. You got to go through the zoning board. I had no idea.
You getting me started on a T build, like seriously, man. Because this is how I look at it. A lot of people don't understand how beneficial JVing something is. because everybody's a me. Everybody's a me person. We've all had our moments where it's like, I want all the money, But in reality of it is, if even if it took 15 people, and I'm not saying it's going to be a big number like that, but think about it like this: if you take 15 people that you truly trust, or even if you don't trust them, contract them. Contract are more trustworthy than trust, right? So if you have 15 people that are all contracted to this obligation, and we're like, okay, because listen, we all need to put in $100,000 each, even though that's a small number. No, actually, let's go more realistic. 15 people, we're all putting in 300,000. We probably don't have it. That's where credit comes in, so we can get access to that with our credit score. But we all get 300,000. I don't have my calculator, and I don't even know how much that is. Alexa,
like 1.5 or 15 million, I think.
Alexa, what is 200,000 times 15? 4.5. Okay, so we have 15 people that now have access to 4.5 million. If we wanted to buy 2 apartment buildings, I feel like we should have enough. I don't know the exact numbers, but I feel like we should have enough, right? So now we have 4.5 million. We're purchasing this, and even though it's being split in 15s, it's still going to give us what we need in the long run, because how we look, the apartments are going to be generating revenue as long as they're filled.
Right.
We don't know if we're building luxury apartments. We don't know if we're building a primetime city where everybody wants to be. We don't know if we're building by the beach. It's so many different factors that go into all of this stuff, and I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But let's just say that those 2 apartment buildings, they're 10 each, so we got 20 units. And each of the 20 units, each unit is generating what? $2K each. If you do the math on that, that's 20, 40, 4,000, 40,000.
40,000.
Yeah, I think it's 40,000. Right?
Yep.
So we're generating $40,000 a month. Chances are that note is probably not going to be $40,000 a month, right? So obviously we got to pay payroll and do all the things, and accountants will handle all the numbers. But once it's all paid back, that's the goal. We're not making any profit until it's paid back. But once it's all paid back, that's pure profit for the rest of your life. Once you sell it. But then when you sell it, it's like that. And people don't understand how easy. That's out of sight, out of mind. You telling me I had a good credit score. I pulled together with a bunch of my networking buddies or friends or family, whoever, and we purchased 2 apartment buildings. 10 years from now, if those apartment buildings have been paid back, the whole course of the 10 years, I've been living my life. That's just a paycheck. I don't have to manage it. We have a property manager. Like literally,
you get a property manager.
I don't have to do anything. I'm literally just letting that revenue make money while I do other things. We don't have to worry about it affecting our personal credit score if we have a LLC, a mother company that is housed under, because all of that utilization is going to be on the business. So I still have that 800 credit score. I PG'd it or whatever, but I still have the 800 credit score. My utilization is still fine, but the money is all tied up into this property being slowly paid back. Rinse, repeat, and it's forever.
Rinse, repeat.
And now that I'm learning this, and then I'm understanding it, I'm seeing like those big corporations probably got started, like Troll Brothers, or I don't even know who owns the development that I live in, but it probably started with started with something small, and we're watching it happen like all day. People, I know y'all watch HGTV, or sometimes people watch HGTV. All those real estate people, all they're doing is accumulating money to buy something bigger. I watched the who are those twins? The Property Brothers, I think, the twins that do houses or whatever. So me and my wife, they got a new show now where they're renovating houses and renting them out. So they're not buying and selling anymore. They're buying and renting out. So they didn't kick it up to another notch where they like, instead of selling and making the money one time, let's rent these Jones out and make the money recurring. And Jesus, man, look,
let it pile up, and that's the thing, man. You again, rinse and repeat. You do one, then you have the capability of doing another. And just on a point that like Jay being is like, money making is a social activity. You gotta get around people. You gotta network to make more money. I mean, if you can do it by yourself, but at the same time, like this is just what I've learned, my experience. You can get with y'all, other mentorships that I've invested in, networking group. Like money making is a social activity.
Yeah, there you go. So you gotta. It starts with trust, though. When I telling y'all to do these things with just random people, definitely starts with trust. Somebody's gotta have the brain. Like our brain is at the bottom of the screen. She coordinates a lot of our stuff. So.
So I'm sitting over here, I'm listening to y'all, and I'm looking in different states where I can buy like huge lots of acreage for like under 20,000 right now. So
see?
I gotta look. I'm listening to what y'all saying. I'm like, Christie Estates is about to be a real thing. Like,
I don't know. I can't.
Because
I ain't invested on Christie Estates. You know what I'm saying? We might have to change.
Look, I don't care. I don't care. So when I'm a millionaire,
I'll invest in we can name it Marley and Me. Let's name it Marley and Me Estates.
Marley Estates. No.
We can name it
I'm looking up huge lots because you can go, to like the county websites and find the acreage. You just got to have the money to be able to pay for it. My mom was telling me I'm gonna run this play this month, KP, and I'm gonna let you know as soon as I have an answer on how to get real estate for a reduced amount. And then after that, Brian, you're gonna have to like plug me in because I'm gonna start flipping houses
let's do it.
Like immediately, right off. Like I want to run it first and see if I can do it. If I can, I'm gonna tell you what I did.
Gotcha.
What she just said though, y'all, this is why financial literacy is so important. Also, network, because without us knowing each other, Brian would be the only one with this information. We wouldn't be able to relay it. If she's gonna go and find the properties, and I can show us how to navigate our credit to make more money or to get more money to have more capital.
Right.
It all plays a part in what you do and how your team operates. Like I love my team. Like I love that we all have different mindsets, different areas. We all in different states, so we can cover way more ground. It's like it's super beneficial to have a team. One, I say this almost every Zoom. It's super beneficial to have a team, but it's also beneficial when you let your team speak. Sometimes people are a part of teams, but there's only one mouth. Only one person is giving directions. Only one person is telling everybody what to do. That's not a team. That's employment is what it sounds like. You know what I'm saying? Who's the boss? Right. We don't really have a boss. We have a bunch of ideas that we shoot off each other. Mine get rejected the most, but I still shoot them out there.
Yeah, you got to. You got to keep shooting. Shoot.
One day it's gonna make sense.
I ain't gonna make my shots if I don't shoot them, so I gotta keep shooting. Exactly. I'm gonna be Curry one day. You know what I'm saying? But 3-pointer, turn around, play defense.
And everybody got, everybody has valuable input. I think. Yeah. And that's kind
of another thing though. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say that's kind of the relationship or environment that we fostered. You know what I mean? Like everybody has input. So bring your ideas to the table because we all trying to get it.
So one thing I think I'm running into with a lot of entrepreneurs is like some of the people I talk to, they don't know where to go, who to talk to, who to trust. And then they feel unheard when they finally do get in an inner circle, so it's like they feel like I guess weighed down or pulled into a rut because it's like, oh, I'm not valuable. And I be telling people all the time, and I said this to one of my students last night, like nobody is you. Nobody. I don't care if you in the room with 1,000 people, you're not in competition with nobody. Like I don't understand where the crab in a barrel mentality comes from. I'm not pulling nobody down. I'm gonna push you if anything. You know what I mean? And I like to have people around me that do the exact same thing. Like on some, to be honest, if it wasn't for KP constantly pushing me, I would be on camera right now. I'd still be like this.
Remember the voice for like the first 2 years. If y'all went out accountability Zoom, y'all remember. They knew what she sounded like, but nobody knew what she looked like.
Right. He turned all, but like you have to get around people that are nurturing. So I'm grateful for Brian, not KP, but Brian. I'm grateful for you.
Like KB want to brought me in. Nah, not you.
Yeah, y'all see how they treat me. This is publicly. Like now, y'all can finally see. This is how she treats me in the office when we do our group zooms. I get shut down the most. I be like, "Hey, I got an idea." Boom, it's dead. They mic sometimes. They be doing all types of things to me, man.
Why you sound dramatic? Oh my God,
it's
it's
all love.
alive.
It's all love.
But look to the audience. Like everything that Brian's presented to you, capital money. I know we're talking about numbers that might not seem possible for you guys. This is why the financial literacy and credit is so important. I can tell you right now. Well, I won't use me, but let's say 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have had access to $100,000. You know, if somebody's like, "Oh man, look, we're gonna get 10 people together, we invest 100K to have $1 million to buy this land." Where the hell I'm gonna get $100,000 from? I don't have access to that money. You know, my job's only paying me $20 an hour. That would take me years. But when you have a high enough credit score, and I'm talking about 750 plus, when you're in that perfect range, that excellent range, you're a walking bank, because now I know I can get it. How much you need, Brian? You said we all need 250. Okay, cool. Mind you, I have three businesses. I now know. Okay, look. Oh shoot, my bad. I'm going to go in the bank. I'm going to see how much they can give me on my side. Probably 20, 30,000, right? Now I want to see how much all of my businesses. My businesses are producing, they're producing revenue. I have a good enough score to PG. Let's say that they give all three of my businesses 70,000 each. That's 210.
Yeah.
Plus the 50 that they gave me on my personal. I got 260,000 like that. Just from having good credit, the banks gave me $260,000, and with the high enough credit score, chances are when the banks give you money, it's probably going to be on a 0% card. So not only did they give me that money, I'm not even paying interest on it for a year and a half, 18 months, no interest. I mean, this sounds like a steep process. So we'll probably be paying it back for more than 18 months. But within those first 18 months, I'm good. I'm interest free. We're doing good. So I just want you all to understand how important credit is. Like every time we present new speakers to you guys, every opportunity we put in front of you guys, it's always going to come back to credit, because yes, things cost. They say, what do they say? Scared money don't make money. Well, no money doesn't make anything. So, you know what I'm saying? Like scared money doesn't make money. That is true, but no money can't make money. Put it like that.
Right.
So if you don't have access to money, and you can't get access to money, then you can't make money unless you're going to work yourself a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to work a 9 to 5 constantly, that's fine. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with having a security blanket. A lot of people prefer that. But if your credit score is bad, and you feel like you don't have access to money, that's because your credit score is bad. I promise you, once you get a good credit score, now you living worry free, traveling for free, staying in hotels for free, doing all the things that you couldn't do even with the 9 to 5. You can have a 9 to 5 and have a 750 credit score. There's nothing stopping you guys. It's just, your mindset needs to change. There go Olivia right there.
It's the foundation.
Olivia.
Yeah, credit is the foundation, man. For a lot of things that we want to do. And once you get that in order, it's always like, I think about success as access. With credit you get access to capital. Entrepreneurship, you get access to other people. You know what I mean? And that's, for me, that's kind of my definition of success. Just having access to as much as possible. But yeah,
I made a status this morning saying all you have to do is you change your payment, your spending habits, and your credit, and your whole life will change. And I think that's before you do anything else, change your spending habits, and then after that, change your credit habits, and your entire life changes. The world literally becomes your oyster. It opens up for you. And I feel like it's so many people, even though we're telling them week after week, day after day, like this stuff is beneficial to you, people don't really grasp the concept. So, the project that y'all have going on that's coming up or whatever, I don't know when it is because KP keeping me out of the loop for that. But I commend y'all on doing that because oh, okay. I was like, I don't know where they're going, but I commend y'all for doing that. You know, I want to get a project like that going here for people because financial literacy and credit is literally the core to everything. Mm-hmm. You're talking about, you know, having a family of, you know, I'm going to say on the lower income, lower mindset, lower everything. Like I've had relatives that were in and out of prison because they thought that was the only way to make money. You know what I'm saying? Still to this day, in and out. And it's because they don't think that there's a different way. And I'm like, you know, change your spending, change your mindset. If you're a hustler, especially those type of hustlers, right, you already got it in you. You just have to change. You know what I'm saying? You have to go legit. And now you're talking about a few petty thousands versus hundreds of thousands and or millions of dollars just because you change your environment.
100%. Yeah. I think and like exposure. You talking about our event, like we're gonna be creating that exposure for people. You know, that might be less fortunate, but came from the same neighborhood, same hoods that we grew up in. And you know, that's the whole at the end of the day, like, you know, there's that saying, like you don't know what you don't know. I mean, some things you do know, like, okay, if I'm a go in here, like I definitely don't have the knowledge of a doctor, but you know, until you get exposed to things, you would never know that you didn't really understand or you know that field. So yeah, it comes down to exposure, and it's up to us to make that happen. So
networking also helps you with networking also helps you with understanding that your situation can get better, because a lot of times you know, people in those situations, this is why we're doing it. You know, people from our neighborhoods and our places where we grew up in, Section 8 welfare and things like that, they just think that's all it is. When you're 12 years old, anywhere from 12 to 16, and all you see is the neighborhood drug man, that's what I want to be. I see him with the gold chains on. I see him being able to buy everybody ice cream from the ice cream truck. I see him with all the girls, and you know, as a young kid, no credit knowledge and no financial literacy, nothing. I see somebody that looks successful. What I don't see is him running from the police. What I don't see is him getting robbed at the liquor store or the station. What I don't see is him going to jail or getting shot at. What I do see is the positives and the success. So that's what I want, without knowing all the negatives that come behind that, right? If we had more, you know, and I'll say black men, if we had more successful black men in those neighborhoods, in those areas, to be able to teach and explain like what exactly you can do with your life, what you can do. Like, yes, you can be on child support and still have a 750 credit score. Yes, you can have multiple baby mothers. I'm not promoting this, but yes, you can have multiple baby mothers and still be successful. Yes, you could be working a 9 to 5 and still, you know, invest into the real estate development. It's still possible. Don't feel like you're trapped in a box or trapped in a corner just because that's your current situation. And that's what we want to present to these men. We want them to understand that it doesn't matter what your situation is. I don't care if you have a felony. That's another thing, you know, with our industry, you know, and I won't lie, some opportunities, you know, depending on the felonies or whatever, but for the most part, you're your own business owner. If you own a business, felony or not, regardless of what your past did to you, you're not going to be blocked from accessing millions of dollars because you control the narrative now. That's not like applying to be a warehouse manager. If I apply for Amazon and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I got a drug felony, and they like, oh well, we can't offer you employment. But let's say I go start an LLC and I want to become a business owner. Mind you, I have a felony. Now, I don't have a felony, but the hypothetical person has a felony. And he has a 780 credit score. You know, now it's like, okay, cool, you got a felony, but it looks like financially you're a trustworthy person. Here's $50,000 and go make some money. So I just want people to understand, well, men, because we're pushing it toward men in our neighborhoods, but we just want men to understand, man, like you don't have to go down that road just to get rich. You know, this is a much safer route. You do got to put in that hard work. I won't lie to you. Like Brian can tell you, like everything he was mentioning, a 2-year process, like building it out, getting the people you could trust, contracting, finding the GC, the architects, hell, getting your credit score right. It ain't gonna come overnight. Like, I ain't gonna just be able to say, all right, tomorrow, you know what, all three of us, let's pool 500K together. We don't have 500K. I gotta go get it, KP. You gotta relax. You know? But people have to understand that nothing worth something is fast. That's how I look at it. Nothing worth something fast. Like, it's gonna take time.
Things take time.
Yeah, it's worth it though. It is 100% worth it. And there are people such as the Elevation Academy, and we're not the only group doing this. You're not the only group. There are plenty of groups all over the nation that are trying to help you all financially with financial literacy and things like that. Credit repair specialists, different groups. You know, I won't go and start naming everybody, but you have to understand that until you decide to change your mindset and you decide that you really want to change and you really want to do better, you're going to be stuck in the same place that you always been. And that's the first step to anything. The first step to anything that we've ever talked about, anything that we will ever talk about, the first step is changing your mindset. You have to want to do better or you'll never do better. Look at that. I done gave my closing arguments. Your Honor, I rest my case.
He didn't get a benediction out here.
Man.
But yeah, man, let's go to the next one. I was gonna ask Tamaya some questions too, but Tamaya popped out. So let's ask this. So we already asked how you got started. What is real estate? Oh, here you go. Let's ask that one, Brian. So within the real estate development world, are there any startup costs?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I always answer this with like, you know, it takes money to make money. Startup costs really, again, have to deal with those due diligence studies that we talked about. So, you know, vetting land in the sense of seeing if this is suitable, you know, from an environmental perspective. Maybe you even have to do a market study to see, you know, what you're planning to build, if that is going to actually materialize and create income. Because, you know, in some areas you might build a development and, you know, either it might not rent out, you might not get a company to lease it just based on location. So, you know, market studies, environmental studies, those are really the main two that come to mind when I think about startup costs. But yeah, they're definitely going to be startup costs with anything in real estate, in my opinion. I mean, you can do wholesaling, but at the same time, like, you think about wholesaling, you have to have startup costs for like marketing. You know, you sending out letters, that's a startup cost. You know what I mean? And obviously it's on a bigger scale with commercial development, but again, the rewards are tremendously higher as well.
And that's what it all comes to. How I like to put it is, or Shanice knows this about me, I don't ever look at the cost of something. I look at the result. How much can this make me? You know, before I invest this 5K in this course, how much can this course make me? How much can this investment make me? And how long will it take? And then it's worth the money. Once we start changing our mindset from cost to from the risk to the reward, we're all worried about the risk. Everybody's like, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I can't sell enough? We're not worried about the risk. We're worried about the reward. Because as long as the reward is in your head, you're going to hit it. As long as the risk is in your head, you're going to prevent yourself from hitting it, because that's all you're thinking about is not hitting it. You're putting that in your aura. You're making yourself negative. You're telling yourself you can't do it, and that's why you can't do it. But if you just keep pushing, I can, I will, I did, that's all that you ever gonna get. It might not be a realistic number, and this is kind of where I grabbed from Grant Cardone, that 10x thing. If your goal is 10x what you wanted to be, even if you don't hit the 10x goal, you still hit 1x goal. That's all that matters. And hell, if you exceed that 1x goal, you're doing even better. And that's what people don't understand, man. You got to set your dreams and mindset. Oh wait, we got some stuff in the chat. You got to set your dreams and your mindset and everything to be higher than what you really wanted to be. So like my goal, I'll tell you guys, my goal last year was to hit $1 million in revenue. I said it. I said it for that. You know, I was just look. I've never had over $500,000 in revenue, but I just was like, I'm hitting $1 million. You know, I think 2020, what we did, we did crack 6 figures, and I was excited about that. So I was like, let's shoot for $1 million. I think we ended with like 600, like a little under 700,000. But guess what? That's way more than 100,000.
Still great.
You know, so it's like I did it. I 10x'd it. I 10x what we just did. Yeah, I didn't hit that 10x, but look what I did do. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have kept saying, man, we ain't gonna hit $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't gonna hit $1 million. We ain't gonna never hit $1 million, because I'm telling myself that we're not gonna do it. So I'm not gonna go to do the things to do it. Instead, I'm like, yo, I'm networking with this. Well, y'all done been here. Y'all know I be gloating all the time in the group chat, but it's like, I'm networking with this person. I'm networking with that person. It got to the point where I'm talking to people that don't have nothing to do with our industry, because I'm trying to hit that $1 million. I'm talking to doctors. I'm talking to people at the gas station. I'm just selling. Who can I help? I help my barber. I help the nail salon lady. I help the gas station people. I'm like, yo, what can I do to help you make money? And it inevitably drove me up to that point. And it's like, you won't get it if you tell yourself you get it. Once you start telling yourself you will, and you will, and you will, I promise you will. But you gotta have that mindset, and it's a lot that goes. So, I guess we can
add something to that, KP. I mean, we keep reiterating mindset. Yeah, you gotta have that mentality. Like, you gotta be relentless. You know, you gotta look. Sometimes you gotta look crazy to other people. To like, hey, he's still going. You know, and you look at things like content. Oh, he's still posting. Yeah, we still doing this. We still doing this because I believe in myself to go out here and get it and get this result, get this reward. You know, and you gotta be hungry with it. Entrepreneurship is not for the weak. I mean, you're gonna have ups and downs. Like, the thing about the income is like, I might not get paid this month. How you gonna deal with that? How do you react to that? I think, you know, your success is contingent upon how you react to these situations and how you continue to go back and just keep going.
Don't even think about the what if months. Always think about the positive months. Like you just said, there is times in entrepreneurship where you don't make anything early on. Once you start making money, that's the good thing about entrepreneurship. Once you start making money, you'll be good. Once you really figure out, okay, this is what I do to make money, it's gonna flow. It's gonna flow, you know, very effortlessly. But in the beginning stages, you don't know what works. Mm-hmm. You see what works, but we're all different people. I say right now, all three of us, we have 3 different methods of making money. Even though all 3 of us are a part of the academy, outside of the academy, we're all doing 3 different things to make additional revenue. You know, our academy money, we pool our brains together, but KP, Brian, and Shanice are 3 different humans. You know, as soon as we get off this podcast, we go do 3 different things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people have to understand, you still have to be unique to yourself. You know, you can take the ideas of other people or the layouts of other people, but you truly have to understand everybody's their own person. Some people like to take templates and copy and paste them word for word and think it's going to work. Well, if you copy and paste it from somebody that's a total opposite from you, why would it work for you? If an introvert copies and pastes something that an extrovert posted, when it comes time to start talking to all those people, you ain't gonna want to do it. And guess what? You're not gonna be as successful as the person that posted it. Because for me, and we can use me and Shanice, I would post all the time, yo, come talk to us. And Shanice is like, stop sending these people over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we don't, you know, I want to talk to people 24/7. She don't. So it's like, when I would bring people to the business, I'm like,
I don't see how you. I just don't. You be like, I'm talking to this person. I'm talking to this person. I'm talking to them. When do you stop to eat, breathe, live? You be like, I'm talking to this person. I be like, oh my god. My brain.
So sometimes I'll be working, and like if I'm on the Zoom, if you ever see me do like this and say thank you, Jazz will slide me the plate. He working. Slide me the plate, like just. I'm telling you, like my camera be on. I'll be like, oh, if I do this, like, you know, my face go away. That's because I'm trying to eat real quick. I'll be like, they be like, dang man, would you? But
my
at the end of the day,
God.
like I said, the reason I do that though is because I want to hit that $1 million goal. You know, if I keep pushing, let's say I keep pushing to hit $1 million in revenue, and for the next 4 or 5 years, I'm only hitting 900,000. Like, who said that was bad?
Right.
You made $900,000 in revenue a year, you know, and I'm not saying that that's good. You know, obviously it's good when you haven't hit it, but when you are constantly hitting it, it's bad. So it's like, for now, I'm like, damn, I really want that million. I'm gonna hit it. And then I can evaluate, what did I do to hit this 900K that I need to do different to hit $1 million? Brian, you got to go with 11, don't you?
I do gotta jump off, but
my alarm just went off. My alarm went off and said Brian has to leave. So I be trying to help y'all out.
Oh, stop! No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, we having so much fun though, man. Give me game to the people.
Live.
On here with my team.
But again, you know, we won't get thank you as a guest speaker because you're part of the team. But we do appreciate you for joining us. We'll see Brian again. Brian is a part of the academy. Like when we first got started. Between Brian and Tamaya, we'll have them jumping on with us every week so you guys can get familiar with their faces. In the event that me and Shanice aren't here, hell, I might catch a Brian Tamaya show one Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Be excited.
Let's get it.
I think you're good. You're good, B. Me and Shanice, we got the partnership call in 30. You want to stay on or you want to end it?
Nah, go ahead.
Right,
look, I'm like, I don't know. I want to stay on. I don't
know. Violet, no problem. Thank you for joining us, Violet. I saw your comments.
That's my mentor.
That is?
That's my mentor. Violet. Yes.
Look, see? You looking for a new mentor?
I just added her. I found her on Facebook last night and added her. I'm like, we got a podcast coming up. She said, okay, I'll jump on. So I'm glad she stopped seeing it.
Did she only take female mentees or is for everybody? Can I join?
No, you can't talk. You can't. No, you can't talk to her.
we can't be in class together. We wouldn't get no work done.
No, you can. If you want to know, you can reach out to her.
Nah, look, if you're doing it, you know, that's how we grow. So, and it's good that she's in here, but that's another thing I was just talking about, guys. Because we have a team, I don't need to join the mentorship that she's in. Nothing against you, Violet. Like Shanice praises you all the time. But what I'm saying is, like, I wouldn't need to invest my time into something that one of my business partners are investing their time in. Instead, I would go invest my time in something else. So now we're dividing and conquering. She's learning a lot in one area, and I'll be learning a lot in another area. And guess what? When it comes time to pool ideas, she has ideas from here. I have ideas from there. And that's why having a strong team works. Because it's 4 of us now. So the 4 of us can all go in different areas, learn all these different things, and then we can see, oh shit, your idea pools with this idea, and then we can do that, and boom, you know, we can excuse me, we can pull all these different ideas together and make more money that way. If all 4 of us are going to do one thing, one person's gonna overstand it, and then the other 2 are just kind of there wasting time, where we can all go to 4 different places and learn a lot better. So, and
bring it all back and make something even better, bigger, better community and all of that stuff or whatever. So I was up last night. I was talking to my coach, and she had me, you know, we were on a conference call, and I'm just listening to all of these different things, and I said, man, like when you're a part of a community and you're not in competition with anybody, it's so different. And that's why I like, you know, that's why I like T. That's why I like the academy, because it's like we all exist literally in the same space. And none of us are in competition with each other. What are you uh-ohing about?
Because the damn screen did the thing again. There you go.
What thing?
I dropped it. So you know when the automations go off and my screen take over, it did it again. But I knocked the TikTok phone down. Actually, we can wrap it up because we could talk. Look, we could talk off the camera. So again, we appreciate you guys, everybody. That's all the comments. If we didn't get to your comment, I apologize. We just didn't see it. A lot of times our comments I probably should do the overlay like this so you guys can see it. But a lot of times our comments, they won't all show. So we weren't ignoring you in response to you. I apologize. I didn't ignore you. Instagram, 100%. I can tell you we will never see your comments. Don't know why. But we want to thank you guys. Next week is just us again. This week we'll have a topic. It'll just be the Elevation Academy, no special guest. I will we'll have a specific topic that we're covering. We'll just go hard at that topic. So appreciate you all for coming out. TikTok, as usual. Thanks for all the likes and follows. And the show, we got 3 shares this time. And we'll see you.